Welcome back to today's Consular Conversation Live. I'm your host, Davel, and today I'm joined by my colleagues Shari and Kerry from the Consular section. Today we will be discussing B-1 and B-2 consequences and realities. So we're going to go ahead and go straight into it. Can you both explain what is a B-1, B-2 visa and the consequence? When you say consequence and realities, what do we mean? Can you explain that to our audience, please?
All right, first, hi, everyone, I'm Shari. I'm going to explain what a B-1, B-2 visa is. So a B-1, B-2 visa is typically known as a tourist visa. So you can visit loved ones and family, and also you can attend conferences, meetings, a trade show, etc., stuff like that. So that's what a B-1, B-2 visa is. So it's normally just to visit with family and go up on two local work trip when the boss send way.
Yes. So guys, it's not intended for you to work there. You know, we're not saying you should go there and do any harm, like commit any crime or do anything that you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to actually go there in a responsible time, a vacation time. So do not overextend your stay like 3 months. I know that when you go to the port of entry, you get 6 months stamped in your passport. That's not how long you're supposed to stay. You're supposed to go and travel at the time you said for a few weeks for a vacation.
Okay, thank you both. So now we're going to go ahead with some questions. We already have some questions on our feed. So Shari,
Yes.
Tajay from X is asking, he says his visa expires in November of this year. He has travel plans in October and he wants to know if he will have any problems with customs and border patrol.
Well, that is a very good question. It is something that person normally ask quickly and they're not very sure of the answer. So let's make it clear. So if your visa expires in November, but his travel plans are for October. Right. So if you're traveling in October and it expires in November, the visa is valid until it expires. So unless you're going to go beyond the validity of the visa date, that's a no-no. So if you're traveling in October for, say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that should be fine as long as you are back in your home country before the expiry date of that visa.
Yes.
Okay, Tajay, you got that. Be home by November.
Yes, Tajay, and just to add to that, you can always go ahead and renew your visa a year within the expiration date. So you don't have to wait until it actually expires for you to renew it. And this will save the hassle for all that questions and doubts at port of entry.
Okay, great. Moving on to our next question. Adrian from Instagram is asking, what is admit until date? Kerry, can you take that one?
Admit until date is the date you're given to actually stay into the country. And like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't mean you're supposed to stay for the 6 months. For example, on a visiting visa. This is just for a case of emergencies. Let's say, for example, something happens to you, God forbid, you met into an accident and you have to stay longer or something else happens extreme. You can actually apply for an extension at USCIS to USIS, known as USIS, US Citizenship and Immigration Services, to do that. So in other words, be responsible. Don't just go off on a limb and do what you feel like. Just do the right thing so that doesn't affect your future trips and your future visa applications. And also that this can affect other persons. You don't want to close the door on persons who actually really want to go and travel because you messed up for whatever reason it is.
Okay, thank you, Kerry. Our next question is to you, Shari, and it's from Jody. Jody from Facebook. Oh, Jody wants to know if she can go to college on her B-1, B-2 visa.
Jody, unfortunately not. We do have a category for college and university students. So as I said before, your B-1, B-2 visa, it's mainly for visit and for work conferences and trade shows. So as I say, you go visit auntie, uncle, nephew, sister, cousin, brother, and come back. For students, there's a different category of visa, which is called a F1 category, but that's for a different show. So currently, B1, B2, unfortunately not. You cannot study or attend university on your visitor's visa.
Okay, thank you, Shari. Over to you now, Kerry. We have a question from T. Bazzi on X. T. Bazzi lives in Jamaica, but his employer is a US-based company. T. Bazzi wants to know if she will have any problems when she applies for a US visa.
And will T-Baz be working in Jamaica, like remotely?
Well, let's assume she work remotely based on this question.
No,
Let
go ahead.
me go over the question again. So T-Bazzi lives in Jamaica, but her employer is a US-based company, and she wants to know if she will have any problem when she applies for a visa. So she lives here, but apparently, I guess she works remotely because she doesn't have a visa based on this question. So she wants to know if working remotely for a US-based employer will have negative consequence on her when she applies for a US visa here.
You're actually able to go on work conventions. I know for a new person, maybe there are needs for training, but you're not supposed to get a visa for remote work.
What if she just wants a visa to tour the US or to go on vacation? Is that
Did you meet the requirements?
You are okay to travel.
Yes.
Remember, it's just as long as you're not being paid by any company in the US. If you're going to a trade show, you're going to a business conference, meeting, you are safe to travel on your B-1, B-2.
okay? Moving over back to you, Kerry. Snack size doll. So
Interesting name.
right, she wants to know how long before her visa expires can she apply to renew it?
Yes. Great question. Like I mentioned earlier, within the year. So don't like what happened to the person earlier who asked a question, 1 month before it expires, she's traveling on it. You can do so within 1 year of your visa expiring so you renew it. But this has stipulations. So you can renew with the interview waiver program once you got the previous visa when you're 18 years and over. Because now even children and elderly persons 18 over has to come in person for the interview. So it depends. So if your first visa was issued after you're 18, you can feel free to apply within 1 year if it's being expired. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Moving on to our next question. Bella Silver on X. Bella has been granted a 3-month B-1, B-2 visa for the US and now she can't go. She's asking if having an unused visa in her travel passport will have any consequences for future visa refusal, and does she need to do anything special?
No.
No, I don't think anything special is needed. Sometimes life is lifing, things happen. You might not have gotten to travel at the time that you wanted to travel. So the visa is just unused. So you just, once it's expired, you can just reapply and you can continue. So once you qualify, you should be able to obtain another visitor's visa.
Yes.
Thank you. Carrie, our next question over to you. We have a YRAG on Facebook. His B2 visa expired around 8 years now. Do I have to do an interview again if I reapply for renewal?
Yes, you have to come in person because once the 1 year is passed, you have to come in person.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 years is a long time. Your circumstances might have changed. Things might have happened. A lot of things might have happened in 8 years. So definitely you'll be required to come in for an interview.
Visit museum, be traveling, you can travel. Do not stay a long time. Vacation time, be responsible, do not commit any crime or do anything illegal in the country. That's definitely not what you're there for. Just be responsible and visit your family, visit your friends, go to a hotel. Just be traveling, continue traveling, but travel responsibly.
Yeah, just remember, there's no work that can So the things that can occur, as Carrie stated, is that you're visiting. If you look at shopping, of course, you're visiting museums, theme parks, anything that you'll do while you're on a vacation. That is what you're allowed to do on your visitor's visa. And if you're going for business conferences, yes, you can also do that. But none of the other things, you can't go to school. You are not to be having a baby there. No working that you're going to be paid by a U.S. company there. That cannot happen on your visitor's tourist visa.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Shari. So we have a question from Instagram.
But as Kerry said earlier, if something should happen, say for instance, you got in an accident and you're in the hospital and you require additional stay beyond that initial day that you got. You, as she said before, you can apply for an extension at the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services uses for an extension. But don't take it for granted that because you're in the hospital or something has happened that it's okay to just stay until you're better. You want to ensure that your immigration status is legal while you're in that country or in the hospital as well. So ensure that your loved ones or yourself try to get the proper extension while you're there.
But very important to add to that, Shari, if it's not granted, you'd have to come home when you're scheduled to come home. Yeah.
We have a couple questions here. Carrie, Miss Simply Amazing from Instagram.
These names.
She wants to know, can a grandparent apply for his or her grandchildren visiting visas?
I would assume she's referring to a grandparent taking a grandchild to the interview, like applying for them. It depends on the children are usually get a visa based on their parents' qualifications, not their grandparents, unless the grandparent is a legal guardian through the courts. Then that will apply to their grandchild. Otherwise, it's based on the parents.
Okay.
Yeah, but also I think the question is probably relating to if mom or dad is not available to attend to take them into the interview.
Yeah, that could be that.
Right. So if the grandparents are there, yes, they can be allowed to accompany that child into the interview process. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Shari. And Shari, back to you. Debbie from Twitter is asking, she saw a typo on her B-1.
You can send an email. Sorry, Debbie. There's an error on your visa, but you can let us know as soon as possible. Once you've received it, if there's an error in your call data information, your name, date of birth, passport number, expiry date, the text on your visa, please let us know as soon as possible. You can visit our website or send an email letting us know that the error has occurred and we will come up with a response to you as quickly as possible, advising you how you can return the passport to your correction. Well, very interesting question, Damon. What you have to do is report it to the police authority. It's the first thing you have to do. Then you will have to email us, informing us that it has been lost and stolen. Then we advise you that you will need to do your passport because then you will never get it. So your passport is a new passport as well as a new visa. That's the process. That's an interesting one. Even though your visa has been issued and has been granted, entry is determined by the Customs and Border Patrol agent. Okay? So what can happen is that you should follow the instructions given by the agent on what to do. If you're required to go home immediately, you should do so. And then you follow the instructions that is given. You'll give clear instructions and guidance on how to address that issue. Well, it depends on the damage. So if, first of all, it's personal, you can going to get an easy damage. But we will advise you to get an easy because you don't want to go to purchase and cause some issues for you. There's the other damage towards it, you losing the label, when you want to search the label, you can just have a valid visa. So we recommend that you definitely get the choice to actually opt. So just for import charges, and similar to the passport being damaged. So for instance, that visa was in a damaged passport. So you wash your passport in a private. We have seen many of those cases. So persons do travel, they put the passport in their back pocket and then throw it in the washing machine. So it got washed. It's similar to a passport in loss. That is a damaged passport and the visa got damaged. So you still have to obtain a new passport and you have to reapply for a new visa. Yeah, so you apply, pay a new fee, schedule a new interview, schedule a new, right. So, and of course, if it was damaged, you still have to have those reports as to what happened for the damage or lost passport that you will take with you in your interview. So you finish your process and you are told that you need some things.
Guys, do not misrepresent information on that. Listen, look at it. You find that it that happened, you can be banned, you can be denied a visa. You know, when you do an application, you do it after. Even if someone does it for you, a false way, but when you go through it, ensure that whatever information is on the application is actually correct.
After that, Terry, remember, false information is quite different from an error on the input, on the application.
Yes.
Because the error could have been that my name was spelled incorrectly, or my date of birth might have been off by a day or the short. So that is quite different from false information. False information is putting yourself in a different light from what you actually are. So when you come to the interview, and the officer will ask you the questions that you can't clarify, that is just not happening. So remember, false declarations are quite different from an error on your application. So an error you can always clarify, but I'm not sure how you're going to address a false declaration on your application.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Always present accurate, compliant information on any immigration document.
Oh, I just mentioned that briefly. Yes, so someone can, before you, like I mentioned just a while ago, ensure that you know exactly what the permit is on your application, it's your image, it's your registration. Yes, just before.
Okay, topic. Yes, you can still you have your valid visa on your expired passport and obtain a new passport to travel with. That is still allowed. I'm not aware of any changes to that rule. So just copy your free to take both passports with you. However, the copy should decide that, you know what, you can't bother to walk with two passports. You are free to move your passport into your visa, current visa into the new passport. But that is a new application and a new application to new process. So the decision is going to be up to you whether or not you want to travel with two or to just move valid visa into the new passport.
But to add to that as well, you have to ensure that when you're traveling both passports, that if you're married, that you name the change and very careful in your nationality having changed. So you can't have visa passport in a Jamaican, for example, and then you have a woman passport. It has to be the same nationality. That's very important. So that's a good point. You can email us, you can go online, and the navigator will guide you actually to it. Our email is houstonNID@state.edu. Alright, while we're looking through on the question, there's something I want to point out. So guys, this has been a really deep issue as it relates to person family responsibility. So our team once again we create cards that we place on the page where visa is issued, and this reads #travel responsibly. Know your admit until date and do not overstay your visa. If an unexpected event extends your stay, file an extension with UFIS before your admit date until they are in use. Follow U.S. law. Do not work illegally or commit other crimes.
Working on a tourist visa is typically do not travel with the intent of having a child while in the United States and have a plan to meet your unexpected expenses. Remember, healthcare is in the United States is not free. Traveler's health insurance is somewhere. Besides, we're going out of a way to remind you of implications of what will happen should you not use it. You don't need to use this. Yes, you did.